All right, everyone. Well, today we're looking at the category of client communication tools. We're breaking down all these different tools that you can be using inside your insurance agency. Today, we're particularly looking at ChatGPT, but remember, we're using it for client communications. So, how can ChatGPT help me improve my client communications inside my insurance agency? So, today, we're breaking this down for you. And we're going to be breaking down Claude. We're going to be breaking down even Hubspot, how we're using Cara, how we are using Delphi. So first of all, let's talk about ChatGPT. Have you ever had an employee inside your agency that maybe they're a little abrasive, maybe they come across differently, or just kind of rough on the edges, and you need to kind of dial that back a little bit? Well, this is exactly how ChatGPT can help you. This is what we've been doing for about a year and a half now, is maybe rewriting some of those emails into a friendly email, maybe a professional email. You can do this with ChatGPT. In fact, let's just take a sample email. I'm actually going to pull one out of my CRM. And you're not going to be able to probably see that CRM as I'm doing this. Let's see. All right, so this is part of a response we just got back from a referral partner. I would like for you to give me a response to this question I'm receiving through email, but give me a couple different options. I want one that looks professional. I want one that's kind of witty, and I want one that's kind of friendly so that I can choose which one will fit my client communications better. So now you can kind of see the three different responses we have here and what we could use. Well, each one of our customers is going to respond differently, and we have to understand that not every customer is the same. Just like you don't learn AI the way maybe one of your team members does. Because of that, we can't just use client communications the same way with AI, with ChatGPT. So we're going to take this exact prompt. We're going to put it into Claude as well. But remember here what ChatGPT just gave us. Now let's go over to Claude. Remember, we're giving it the exact same prompt. And one reason we're giving it the exact same prompt is we want to understand, what is the output going to be? How is it going to be different? Now, as you see here, we gave it the same prompt. ChatGPT kind of went and did it for us, right? But what Claude did is that Claude is actually asking us some more detailed questions. Tells me that maybe Claude's not thinking it as deep as ChatGPT was. But after giving it a little more detailed, telling it I simply wanted to email responses, now look at how the different things are. And you see that the words are just a little bit different here. And so it's important to understand this, that, every model is not going to be perfect or exactly the same. It's been said that Claude is actually a better writer and coder. I actually prefer Claude a lot for writing. In fact, I'll take a lot of stuff for writing, put it through Claude, and then we'll take it and we'll put it through a GPT. But this is how Claude and AI and ChatGPT, the two together, could help you on your client communications and writing these different emails. And look, this is just an example. When looking at this, though, and deciding which one's going to be the best fit for you and your company, what you need to understand is, okay, I need to put the same prompt into both of these to see what the output's going to be. I need to see how I might need to adjust that prompt based on the model that I'm using. So this is a simple way that you can use ChatGPT and Claude in your client communications. Now, I'm going to jump over to Hubspot inside of our Sandbox account, and I'm going to show you some different things that I could do inside of there. All right, so this is our Sandbox account inside of Hubspot. It's not our regular account, so you may not see the things that, if you're using Hubspot. But the great things about Hubspot is, let's just go to conversations. I don't have an email assigned here. You know what? What I could do though, is actually, let me go to my general account here. And this is just going to be a super generic email from this is where simply maybe where something, let's go to right side here. So in a HubSpot, for example, this is an email from RightFlow, one of our carriers, asking us about some additional information. So what I could do is I could go to the email here and I could look at some different things here. I could actually go to the AI right here, click this AI box, right? And I could have it right for me. And I'm asking it to help me respond to this email. And you'll see it didn't really give me what I wanted, did it? And look, AI sometimes doesn't. Now let's go over here. And now you see the friendly version we asked it for. You could go friendly, witty, professional, like I said, kind of like with HubSpot here. And you kind of see what you're going to get. Then you could hit insert and boom, it's done right there for you. So this is a small sample size of how you can use AI for your client communications in HubSpot, ChatGPT, and Claude. So those are the three there. Now we're going to jump over to something called Delphi. All right, so this is Delphi.ai. And you could go here to log in if it'll let me. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Let's go to sign in. Let's go to My Delphi. And it kind of gives me a couple different options here. Now, typically what I'm doing is going to this one right here and doing this. Now, I've already got this set up, but I do need to change my billing on here. As you can kind of see what you would get for your $99 here. And as I get through this part, and I'm going to kind of show you, once I black this part out and hit pause here. All right, so here's my Delphi and how it's set up. I'm giving it the same response here as I did those other ones. And as you see, it can't really give me the answer here that I'm looking for. And one reason is Delphi is only designed to work specifically on from information I've given it. So let's do this instead. For example, all right, so now it kind of gives me an answer there, you see? Because it's going off of data. What's happened is with Delphi, it's only going off the information I've given it. That means it's only loading off certain documents I've uploaded it, my YouTube channel, my website, and all these different things. So it's important to understand that and how to get all that taken care of there. So this is how Delphi has worked. This is how Hubspot. This is how Claude and ChatGPT. Now we're going to go over to a different product we use called Cara. All right, now this is Cara and some of the things that Cara could help me do here. So you remember how we were talking about the different way we could do an email there. Now we have no email threads in here. So let's go back to home. And what it could do is it could help me analyze some different things. So we're talking about client communication right here. So it could help me with a contract review. It could help me explore a policy, all these different things. It could help me fill out a form. And it's helping me increase that client communication. Look, the AI is not doing all the work for me with something like this. It's going off of what I put into it. Because remember, when it comes to AI, the output that we expect can only be off the input that we put in. And we've got to understand that. So we go through and we look at exploring a policy. If we're putting a certain policy in, we're telling a certain language. It's only a lot of times going off what we give it. So if we're not giving it enough, it's not going to give back to us enough of what we're expecting. So you want to remember that. So this is how I've kind of used Cara, Delphi.ai, Hubspot, Claude, and ChatGPT as different client communication tools inside of our insurance agency. So that concludes this portion of the tools that we use for client communication. Look, you could use a lot more tools on here. We haven't put these in here because I wanted to really simplify things, but these are about 4 to 5 different tools that you could use in here. If you got questions, man, for sure, comment below. Let me know. I'd be happy to discuss them deeper for you. I'm Chris with Niche Your Business. I want to say thank you for watching the video on client communication tools used with AI.